Hi there, thanks for tuning in to my YouTube channel. I am Dr. Elham Raker, pediatrician at Ask Dr. Mom, a virtual telehealth and coaching platform. In this episode, I wanted to talk about behavioral concerns in kids. All kids are going to act up at some point. We expect it, we know it, it's going to happen. So, we just have to be somewhat prepared for it. Before I had kids, I really thought I was a very patient person. I mean, patient with my friends, my family, generally very mellow. But it's not until you have little mini versions of yourself that you realize how quickly your patience can wear off. So, if you're feeling a little frustrated with some of your kids' behaviors, you're definitely not alone. And I want to take some time to share some tips that helped me, that I kind of learned along the way and learned a few the hard way. And hopefully it can help you with some of the things that you're going through. These tips can really be used even in the toddler stage, definitely as kids get older. You may have to kind of adjust depending on the age. Number one is be grateful. I know this sounds counterintuitive. Why would you be grateful that your kids are acting up? But the thing is that kids will only act up in a place that they feel safe and in a person that they feel safe with. So if your kids are angels at schools and angels at their grandma's house and at play dates and other places, and they come home and they're just little monsters, that's actually a good thing. We want them to feel comfortable around us as their parents and just let out their frustrations. Ideally not around everyone else, right? That's when your kids get labeled as the bad kids. And that's okay too, and that's something that we can talk about. But generally, kids will act out at home because that's where they feel safe, and they've got to let their frustrations out somewhere, somehow. So, number one, take a deep breath and know that this is normal, and just be grateful that your kids are doing it with you. Number two is to have empathy. Kids are not trying to get on your last nerve. It seems like it sometimes, but they truly they don't have the tools, they don't have the words, they don't have a way to communicate their frustrations. So we really need to figure out what's going on and just have some empathy towards whatever they're feeling, right? We don't want to just dismiss their feelings, even if it seems something trivial, or, even if it's an older kid and they failed a test, for example, and we think no big deal, that happens. We have to understand that for them, it is a big deal. And for little kids, maybe cutting the banana the wrong way is a big deal. Whatever it may be, we just need to show some empathy towards what they're feeling and acknowledge their feelings, because whatever feelings they're having is not wrong, right? We just want to teach them tools to better deal with those feelings. So then the number one thing is to, after being grateful, but the number one way to talk to our kids first is with empathy and just understanding that what they're feeling is real. So the next step, my third step in this series is problem solving. Ideally, you want to do this together, right? And especially if it's a problem that comes up repeatedly. So if it's something we can kind of preemptively get to before it happens every time, that will decrease the frustration on both sides, right? And we can kind of come up with a good solution that works for both you and your child. So ideally you want to do this together, depending on the age of the child. If it's a toddler that's, always picking up the remote control and they shouldn't be, or always going into cabinet they shouldn't be, that's something you can just, take away that temptation, right? Close the cabinet off, baby-proof it, put the remotes away. Those things you can just, with toddlers, you can usually just take them out of the situation or don't make the situation available to them. But with older kids, you want to sit down and really have a talk about how to deal with this certain frustration. So one thing that came up a lot, and still does even with my older kids, is getting ready for school, right? So getting ready for preschool or getting ready to go out or whatever it may be, especially if we were on a timed, somewhere we had to be on time, right? So you can, sit down and say, hey, we're not really getting ready for school on time and we've been late a lot. What do you think we can do about it? And help them come up with ideas for you. Even if they're 3-4 years old, they can definitely help, and you can guide them if needed. But that way you guys are coming up with solutions that you can both agree on, that you can both agree to, and hopefully will help alleviate the problems in the future. So, we started setting out the clothes the night before, having the toothbrush somewhere accessible, things that were kind of non-negotiable for me, that we had everything set out and ready to go. I also made a schedule for the kids, so they kind of had an idea of what time they needed to get everything done, and put little pictures next to each step. So there's different ways to kind of problem solve, no matter what age your kids are. So those are kind of my 3 quick tips to help you with those frustrating moments, because they happen a lot and they will continue to happen, probably even as adults. So I think having these little steps really can help you throughout their lives, not just when they're a certain age, but maybe more when they're younger. And if you need help with anything else, I have set up a telemedicine, telehealth coaching virtual platform to really help with all things parent related, whether it's medical or just something like this where you want to have more step by step of how to get through something. That is what I'm here for. So you can find me at Ask Dr. Mom with a dash between doctor and mom.com. You can find me on this YouTube channel. You can subscribe to this channel and get more videos like this one. And you can subscribe to my email on my website. So thanks so much for tuning in, and let me know if there's anything else that you would like to hear about. Thanks. Bye-bye.